much human life you save? This engineer said, gosh, no problem. We do that. Because somehow he linked to his work, to how the meaning of his work. Right? And it's totally changed. I tell you, the engineer originally said, I'm not going to do that. I'm just spend the whole night. When suddenly people told him, no, you're going to change your human life. By the way, million drive, everybody attend this one. You're talking about year and a year on that. And so a lot of times it's really the thing you do, and then you put the sum of meaning to life. I'm going to share with you some of my own story and it really happened in the Seagate. Again, you will see it happened to you also. It's just sometimes we did not put all this together, and then become how we communicate with our team, and then really get the team to motivate to see what they do. Indeed, it's all make a difference. It's not only job, it's not only making money, but impact to society. For example, like then, like if you do your own business, even you train the kids, wow, your job is extremely important, right? Because they will be the future leader. And it's not only this, all the society eventually, how good a society going to be depends on how good a kid they're going to be. And by the way, you also provide the training for all these kids, so their parents can go to, feel good and confident, send the kid to there. The point I'm trying to make is, sometimes we just look at the work, just look at the money we make, but really, if you think about in the communication wise, that's a lot of bigger meaning than that. I will share with you a lot of Seagate story. Just the division I'm running and how we use this, right? Try to motivate our people, tell our people to feel, well, what do we do? It's beyond our personal, because we do make a difference. So we will talk about that. Okay. The important thing is, before we are talking about how to make a presentation, the example, I also want to let you know is one thing is it's a communication style is also reflect of your personality, and we also need to go to somehow try to train it. If your presentation or when you talk to people, it's wow, it's going to be difficult to motivate people. So again, go back to 4E and 1P. And certainly everybody has different personality. It's okay to be yourself, but the principle of the 4E and 1P is still applied to everybody. My point is, if your personality is not like that, you don't need it like that. You don't need to be, oh, I gotta be, no. I mean, it's okay, right? But you also don't want to just crunch like that, right? So again, the message is, we all unique, and we all have strength. Try to find our own strength, and let the people feel comfortable about us. But we always need to show the energy. We always need to show the passion, and really develop good personality, good interpersonal skill, open heart to people. Right? Want to help people. It's all going to be good. And then build relationship with people. Communication in the end is really how to build a good relationship. So we can build respect and trust on that. And this one is really, because when you communicate, eventually, if they really follow you, they really listen to you, they will know you. They will start to know inside who you are. And suddenly if they find out, gosh, this guy just talk one thing and never follow up, and the outside want to talk and the inside is really inconsistent, you will be in trouble. Because they only listen once. You can never motivate that, because later on have to be very consistent. You lead by example. That's why you do it, right? Again, the most important thing is in all this communication. If you make a presentation or whatever you do, I want you to feel comfortable. Feel comfortable. Okay to be who you are. Sometimes we maybe feel, well, I don't know how to talk, right? But it's okay, because may not be your weakness. could be your strength. And okay to be yourself. Try to practice that. I cannot say enough. When you are okay with yourself and openly to communicate, talk to the team, talk to people you work with, talk to your boss, make a presentation, public speech, your self-confidence will improve a lot. A lot of time come down to we are concerned about communication is reflect to the self-confidence. Right? And especially for our background, we may not be know, but we think we are very self-confident, but indeed we are not, and that's showing that. Okay. Actually, I'm going to be just pause a little bit, maybe let you to maybe ask a question, or maybe exchange some idea a little bit. Then I will finish the last slide. Really try to prepare you, for next when you're going to homework. You're going to go to talk next week. So, you have any comment or anything before I finish the last portion?
Steve, I have some question on the last page.
Yeah.
Under the phone and the email skill. Can you tell us a little more about these three items?
Yeah, what I try to say is,
or how people can make it happen. Like the first one, I think that's not very easy.
oh, it's very easy. It's very easy. Try to just limit yourself. The number one, I would suggest you try to learn typing. People are very surprised you are typing. I learn myself. I ask my wife, so I learn typing. Most of people, no, I type. Actually, right now I don't need to look at it. So I can be. I will share with my schedule. So I come in about 7:50 in the morning. By 8:30, I finish all the email. Then I go to meeting.
How many email?
100, 200, right? Then I went to meeting. After that, I will come back to check the email. And I will eat lunch. Then I will read. When I read, I meditate. Meditate means I can say. Yeah. And then I will go to meeting again. After I will check the email. And my email is always constant.
How often you check?
Huh?
How often you check?
So I say in the morning.
No, but yeah.
How
But your
often?
email is coming, keep coming, right?
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah. So in the morning,
Every 2-3 hours.
every 2 to 3 hours. And I will clean everything. But you gotta learn very quick. The point is, try to learn this, right? If you needed to write very long, that's everybody know. I would say go to call a person. To say, okay, if your boss say, Mark, can I meet with you? Because it's going to take time for me to answer all of that. Or I would say, Kurt, come. Tell me what it is. Because I cannot write this much. They know. Actually, my reply, you can look at maybe never more than 459. So you train that. Right? You train this one. If you really have, this one you can ask ID to do for you. You probably do this already, right? You have direct report, make sure hit the one key, all the direct report come in. Because you have certain email you're going to send, right? Do that. And then, 2080, what I mean is, this is more related to the management team, right? A lot of emails for your information. You don't even need a reply. So I will select what I need to reply, which is sometimes, Steve, are you approving this one or that? So, and this one is, yeah, go ahead, right? So you select that. And then that's what you do. So the point is, try to develop your own system. And that's my system. My system is I never type more than, say, 10 minutes. Because I need to type more than 10 minutes, I'm saying, okay. Because I only got about 30, 40 minutes to finish my email. The only problem for me, most of the time, I need to type a lot, is the email I got from overseas. Like Tony asked me to maybe give a talk in China, because I cannot call them. Otherwise, in USA and all this, especially in my company, everybody know. Even your guy, you can send email to me. You never see I write a book. Like you got to read and then touch the fire and oh man, I will. And even to my boss. And I want you to look at all your VP, your senior VP and your CEO. Go to read their email reply. If you see very long, I would like to see.
But how many meetings every day you have?
Oh, if I want to go to meeting, I probably every day is in a meeting. So that's the other one we're going to talk to. We're going to talk about. We're going to talk about execution. Remember one time I was talking about number 1, 2, 3, 4. A lot of meeting I don't even go. By the way, this is some of meeting people can say it's extremely important meeting. I did not even go because I'm going to go to all this meeting. I probably cannot even go to men's room. Overlap. I mean, Tony,
In the morning, normally is all meetings.
actually, I can show you today my calendar. I mean, suppose from 8:30 to 5 is a hammer meeting. Right? Then I Pine Night meeting. Before the Pine Night meeting, I have this cross-functional meeting, and it's just one time because right now we are in the Gmail, so people can see my calendar, right? Sometimes they say, Steve, how come you have so many meetings? And you have 3 meetings. I say, yeah, but I don't go any of that. Right? But again, there's no formula. It's just how you focus on efficiency. And this meeting thing, when we're talking about, it's not that difficult for you to select which one you need to go, which one you don't. If you don't do this one with our society right now, with all this electronics, you are big fail.
How do you stay informed about everything going on in this meeting?
I go to their meeting, I listen. And then when I need them, huh?
If you don't attend some meeting, how do you?
Then I will ask them to. So my team, we don't write report. They don't need to spend time write a weekly report. There's no report. I can talk to them, they talk to me. I like a face-to-face meeting. By the way, if you think about I read report, I don't read any report. They know. Frank is doing all this. I don't have this weekly report, weekly flash and all this. No, I don't have that. Easy for them to come to my office, took 5 minutes. Okay, I say I got it. Because it's much easier. I focus on efficiency. Right? If I talk to you, Simon, in 5 minutes, you probably can give me an update on it. Rather than I gotta read this report, and then I don't even understand that. So we do a lot of, people know, everybody actually can come to my office. Right? Engineer can come to my office. And they can give me an update. And we make, that's the other thing. We do have organization because the layout of organization, right? Manager, director, senior director, and then to me. But if you look at this one, for us, the way how I run, and again, it's all based on efficiency. I squeeze all this there, right? Alan is our engineer. You come to talk to me, I just go to my office, Steve, can I talk to you? And it's the same as managing emails, it's just really all focused on efficiency.
Yeah, but I think there is a certain art to it too. To hire up the person you talk to, the more concise and more. It's actually harder to hire and talk because you have to be more and more efficient. So your manager, you can spend at least 20 minutes talking to the manager, and then the director, after that, you only have 5 minutes, and then next, the higher up, you only have 2 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then for like VP, it's like you only got
30
seconds to 1 minute to convey your message, and if you go over if you go over time, then the message is lost, and that way. And then especially for CEO, you would get 10 seconds.
No, I think he said very well. Indeed, that's one thing I can tell people: be careful how you communicate. Right? For CEO, you got 30 seconds. In 10 seconds, 4 seconds, you got to get your CEO attention. And just because the person has so many things to do, and that's the reason I say you can go to try the email. There's no, if this CEO really write a book like this CEO is a problem. I mean, I don't think he can manage a company. So many things. So like you know, Alan's talking about. If you look at that, and that's the reason why it's difficult on each layer communication. If you talk to engineer, yeah, it's going to be very difficult. And the trouble is the way how we talk to engineer all require the email, same as we talk to CEO. And I give you a story, right? So I talked to, they asked me to talk to the president. And I said, okay, good. How long? 30 minutes. So I said, oh, good, man. So I prepare my package, right? So I start with a 30 page. And I said, all right, 1 minute per page, right? It's about right. So then review with my VP, cut down to 5 page. I said, oh, how can be 5 page? That is such difficult material science. How can be only 5 page? The president will not understand what I'm talking about. He said, no, 5 pages is enough. When I presented, I cannot even pass the first page. Because I was not talking about a guy he does not care about how difficult my job, to be honest. He was care about can you finish it? Do you have solution? So the story was, so I presented, I said, oh, Dave, it's very, very difficult job, project, but thank you for giving me opportunity to do that. And I said, okay, Steve, can you reduce the ruthenium? I said, oh, Dave, it's very complicated. Let me explain to you how this ruthenium is going to reduce. He said, Steve, can I ask you again? Can you reduce the ruthenium? And he raised the voice, actually. I said, yes. He said, okay, Jerry, meeting done. And I thought the person was very, very rude. Right. Then later I realized, my VP told me, because he wants to know. He had the next hour, he has a budget meeting. So when you tell him, yes, I can go reduce ruthenium, he's going to say, okay, there's no budget for this item, and we're going to drop that. Right? But I was not communicating this way. I was trying to say, Dave, it's very, very complicated. Okay, and they need a good scientist like I am to figure this out with my team. And then you start to realize. So as you can see, communication is not just a language, but also the purpose of how you communicate. So a lot of time is we did not communicate the right way. We did not even aware of that. Right? And sometimes we go to talk to the customer, right? We think that that's what they want, but maybe that's not really what they want. So that's a good point on that, right? How you communicate. Yes.
Okay, I have comment. Thank you for your. I think I was here the first time, and I heard you talk a lot about your company. But in my situation, like I think I always in a small business. So we kind of a flat organization, like my boss, like also employee, we all like kind of co-workers.
Right.
We're not like a boss to employee, we don't talk like that way, we don't have that hierarchy. So would you like to give more suggestion about like the efficient communication way to talk to your co-worker?
Yeah.
Like your like same level people, how you?
Yeah, usually that's what I do, right? In a project-wise, and I use a lot of tuning. I believe in a co-worker and in a communication, it's really try to build relationship. And from the relationship, try to build understanding, try to build trust. Okay. For example, when I was used to be the wrong program, and I use a lot of travel, or when we do project together. Okay, like I remember when I was maybe it's just like your company, the staff company. So myself, I was an engineer, I was a technician. So we will go do project. Then after this, I say, hey, let's go dinner. Right? So we go to dinner. So I like to eat noodle. So I said, oh, let's go noodle, tanky noodle. Then we talk. And then in the beginning, we talk about work. Then later I will talk a little bit different. I will share with them my family first, right? I will share with them, when I was in Taiwan, and then share with some people about the struggle that I have when I come to USA. And then in that time, for example, technician, they have Vietnamese. They start share with me, say, oh, Steve, we are even more difficult. We come with a boat, right? and some Vietnamese, right? They come. So we started talking about personal, and it's very interesting when we started to talk about like this kind of communication, and they start to feel you closer, right? And then we start to build relationship, and then when we work together, we start to build a trust. And then time actually communication become very, very easy. So I always talk to people, the communication you start with, okay, let's communicate. Let's build relationship. Let's know each other. Let's willing to open up. And let's build trust. Let's build respect. We always gonna be different, though. Sometimes you will be fighting, right? But there will be another issue. If we have respect, and I always tell people, I respect you. I may not be agree with you, though, but I trust you. Right? Let's talk about that. And actually, eventually, that's what real communication. It's okay to say, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. But again, sometimes people will be surprised. Like, Steve, how the way you talk to your guy? They did not know. Actually, I know the person for so long. Like a quick way. Before I open my mouth, they already know me already. Because sometimes I have very short tempo, right? Guys, the people say, wow, why you even work for this guy? But they did not know is I have very good relationship with these people. We've been working together for many, many years. We through many, many times. We have trust, we have respect on that. And they know me very well, I know them very well. Right? And that's what eventually communication. I will tell you the best communication. Before I open my mouth, they say, oh, Steve, I know him. Right? Just when I call Daniel. Daniel said, oh, Steve, no problem. I know. Right? And that's how. And I think that in your situation is the same thing. It's how openly talk about it, and the fear you are in the same team, and you're going to be struggling. Sometimes you're going to celebrate because you're doing something very good, and everybody else communicate with you part of that. I don't know, do I answer your question, but that's what I think.
Yes. Yeah. Well, my situation is like we always like work. I kind of working always for the small group, and like my boss including employee like 45 people together, and I'm a kind of a foreigner, so like very different background. And even though sometimes they ask me like, "Ishu, are you watching TV show?" I say no. Like that's my communication.
No, because actually, how to say your name? Issue.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, I think that from the small group, actually, it's good also, good to practice, right? Regardless of what their nationality, trust and respect is universal. Okay, and like me, I know one thing. I think maybe it's my strength, right? People know I'm very upfront. I say what I mean, and I have a lot of weakness. But in the communication, the point is, for American, for Indian, for Middle East, for Chinese, for Japanese, Korean, actually, they will value the same thing, right? And work with them on that. Especially if you say you also deal with a different nationality, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in Seagate we have people from all different places. And I see the communication the same. Meaning is still talk, build relationship. I know you. With Chinese maybe a little bit easy because we easy to connect. With them maybe take a little bit time. But if you start getting to personal relationship, and then from there you can build trust. Because without go through the personal relationship, if we are all in the business, I think it's very difficult to build trust. Yes. Right? And you will know most of even engineer, if they talk to me, I all know their family. Because when we up the top work, I will start to talk about, okay, I will share with them, okay, my daughter is like that. And we start to talk about it. Because I believe had to be go there to build relationship and the trust. And that's how you build a team, because the most important thing is build a trust. Okay, yes.
I have a question. So this is something that I always thought of, but I've never. Is it okay? So in order to lead a team, you gotta have passion, right? You gotta have some way to motivating the team to have passion. But if you see like a team is not motivated, or they're kind of have different interests, or they're not sold to the idea, is it okay to kind of just give a little bit more, give a bit more attitude, kind of give in words and kind of get a little bit angry, if you can't meet certain timelines of projects. It looks unprofessional, but if it's like something that you want to put an emphasis on because you want to show that you have passion in what you do. Is it okay to?
No, certainly it's okay, but it also depends on how good you are as your leadership, right? Do they have respect to you? Do you already build your reputation? If you don't have that, you be careful, right? But if you do, well, you can go to use that. I mean, I'm telling you, I did that, right? Actually, it's my company and one manager, because I really don't think the person is really do the job and the passion is not there. So I talked to him. I said, I want to have one-on-one meeting with you. And I got to study about his background. He's Chinese, from very good university, right? And graduate PhD from Columbia. So I start with this. I say, you know what? I'm going to start with this. I look at your background. You must be 0.1% China, because you are graduate from Beijing University. You went to Columbia, PhD in physics. And I say, I would think you are so special. And I said, I kind of try to remind you, when you are 0.1%, you should behave like 0.1%. So you say, what does it mean? I say, what does this mean is, you have to go to do the way how the 0.1% need to be. Because in a sense, I don't know, do you believe in God or not, in a sense is you are very special. And I started telling him, I'm totally disappointed. Because I say, if you are bottom 5%, actually I'm okay with that. The problem is you're 0.1%. And that's all you can do? Every day in the office, type a few email, do one project, you think you are done. I said, I don't think when you was graduate from the Beijing University, got a PhD from Columbia, and that's really, what do you think you can do? So he asked me, he said, Steve, what I need to do? I said, well, you know what? Unleash the other 90% of potential. Because I said, you only use 10% of your potential. I know I can do that. Because, I've been in CK long enough, right? Certainly I'm continuing learning, but people respect my leadership. Because a lot of things I told him, I done this myself. I basically lead many teams. From CK, I went to Singapore and that. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes it's no cookie cutter to do. You gotta be careful. Right? If you're saying, no, the people does not have respect, they don't even know what I'm doing. I say, what do you do this? And they say, well, what the heck is that? Right? But my advice to all of you is start from yourself. You gotta build, you're talking about soft skill, deliverable and all this. You gotta earn respect. And then you gotta earn trust from the people to say, Alan, you're good. They probably say, thank you. Okay, thank you, I need to do that. So, and I know what do you mean. I see some of this, and I sometimes always remind all young people. Indeed, in CK, just by the way, I see some of them already. They are so young, they think that they are so good. I had people told me, Steve, I say, I'm task, I say I'm very good on running the task force. Yeah, actually I'm very good also. I never fail on anything. I say, oh gosh, you have trouble. And the only reason I say, confidence is good, but when you haven't built your reputation, I say the good has to be people say that. It's not, I'm very good, because this one does not cut. You know what I mean? It's how you appear, how the people view you. And if you, to be honest, how you can do this 360 assessment yourself, other people do for you. Then you will know how good you are. So I told him, you gotta be careful. I like your self-confidence, but on the other hand, you haven't earned that. I done the 360 by senior VP already, so I know who I am. I know my strength, I know my weakness. Or I know my execution, deliver results, number one. And I know sometimes my personality, the way how I drive the people, maybe a little bit too hard. So
it feels like you need to really, in order to run a good team, you need to understand everybody's weaknesses and kind of tackle that. At the same time, you have to understand that I have my own weakness, and then I need to work on that.
See, the same answer I'm trying to give this. When you run a team, self-awareness, to know you is extremely important. Build relationship with all your team members. Know what their strength and weakness is also important, because that's how you build trust between the team. You cannot run the team. You cannot give them a very tough talk when you don't build a certain relationship, and then when you don't have trust on that. Because when you do this one, this team is going to dissolve very, very quick.
So how you communicate above your direct manager?
My direct manager.
No, like beyond. So for example, okay.
So
I mean, have special. So my director, my direct reporter, he's never like this. He never talks to people. That's just his personality.
So how you become a director?
No, I don't know how he got good. So anyway, maybe his ex-boss, his boss was our general manager. Yeah, so they got a gang of people who come from Singapore, which, so that's probably the story. So then my problem is I talk to him, how do I go to the next step, right? He said, I write it down. Nothing happened, right? So then how do you communicate effectively above, right?
Yeah.
That's
So-
the universe.
So one way I thought is very effective is some of my engineers, right? They will try to communicate with me. Actually, they ask for one-on-one meeting. Okay, and they sometimes they even ask me, "Steve, can you become my mentor?" Right. And that's one way to go beyond your. Because when you use it this way, we are not create a concern for your direct manager. Right? Think about if everybody will come to talk to me, my direct report will say, "Gosh, Yushin, what do you talk to Steve? Do you talk to something bad about me?" Right? He said, no, we are mentoring. Oh, good, mentoring is good. So again, if you want to go to talk to this one, I don't think you want to talk about technical and all this kind of thing. Maybe you want to find other things, right? And then I thought some of the people approached me was quite good. They will ask about one-on-one meeting, and the one-on-one meeting when the boss asks, either is mentoring or they're talking about, I just want to ask Steve some of like business type of thing. I like to learn that, this kind of thing, and then seem to be very effective because I start to know them and share with them, and even though we are very open, my director feel much better because otherwise director say, Steve, how come this guy keep talk to you? They probably will not talk to me like that, but they were concerned about how that. And right now, everybody knows. We talk about technical, but we talk a lot about career development. We talk a lot about other things. I don't know. Maybe you want to. And even the person is very, very this one. If you go to talk to them about, hey, I'd like to learn something from you. I'd like to, maybe try to find out what is strength. Right?
He's a very nice guy. That's all.
Oh yeah, they say, hey, I'd like to ask you, right? I really want to grow in applied materials, and you are in direct position. Right? I'd like to get some of your advice. Believe me, everybody's ego. Because one time when I asked my boss, senior VP, I said, Jerry, can I ask you the question? He said, yeah. I said, how to reward people? Oh, he said, good question. And he started giving me all story. Oh, do you remember I used to be ride the car during the Christmas? Merry Christmas? Very, very useful. Steve, learn that. So he started sharing with me. And by the way, it was very good advice. So he was, he was during the Christmas time, he handwrite it, and he know my name, my family name, he write it, and they say, Steve Huang, Sue, and your daughter Merry Christmas, and wish you a very good this one from Jerry, Vice President of the Seagate, Jerry Kababi. And he did that. I like it, but really my daughter and my wife, they love it, right? They see that. And so he shared this one with me. He said, Steve, have you got my Christmas card before? I said, oh, this one is very good, right? And then he shared other thing with me to say, yeah, sometimes take the team, want to do some outing, team building, take them to, remember we used to go to Napa? I said, well, I know we don't have money, but why you spend all we go to Napa and doing this? You all like it? I said, yeah. So it's very interesting. So when I asked him, I said, yeah, I'm struggling, Jerry. I mean, how to reward people? We don't have a lot of money. And he said, yeah, but right later. Yeah. Then you start to connect to and I do. A lot of time help a lot. Because then they start to remember that. You don't know. Maybe that's why I always say, what's it luck? Preparation? The opportunity come up?
That's true.
You don't know. And a lot of times it's just like that.
Hi, Steve.
Yeah.
I have a question. You always after that, especially like here, presentation, know your audience. For example, you are my boss or my customer. You always get some answer from me, and if I don't have that answer, and you request me to make a presentation, or my customer say, "Hey, today you deliver this product to me,"
Yeah.
and you say, "No, I don't have that. In my heart, I don't have that."
Yeah.
And how you communicate with your customer or your boss?
So for example, right? You see, before you make a presentation, maybe you should do some homework.
Yeah.
What do your boss want? What do your customer want?
Yeah.
That's what I mean to know your customer.
Okay.
Right? Indeed, there's a lot of time that people even send the people to say, hey, because we run all the product. I do all the product. I would say, hey, what do they want to know? Right? What the TCO want to know? We start prepare for that. Because otherwise, it's very difficult to guess what they want. So for example, the one I tell you about, present the Dave Wiggleshan, because I did not know. If today I present that, I will be different. I say, hey, Jerry, can you ask Dave what do he want to know? If Dave just want to make a decision on whether we need to budget ruthenium or not, then I will give him an answer like in 2 seconds. I will not make a long presentation. So again, no audience. You don't need to, when you make a presentation, you should prepare some homework on that. And that's sometimes we did not quite prepare for it. And by the way, they will tell you what they want. Or you can spoon people to ask, even including present the CEO. What the real CEO wants? If not, then you can ask the secretary, can you ask the CEO on this meeting, what do you want to know? We can go to prepare for. Actually, they like that. But a lot of time we think we know what they want. Right? So again, I think it's in the preparation is go to talk to customer. If you want to present to me, you say, Steve, what do you want to know? I want to make sure I present.
Directly or
Huh?
you ask it directly? Or?
You can ask directly or ask your boss. Like for me, like customer, I ask the program manager to ask them. Pretend I don't know anything. Right? I mean, you gotta go to use all of that. You have a lot of people. You speak Christmas. That's your job. Figure out. If they don't want to say, go to figure out. Send some people. You're gonna take them to lunch. Go to take them to lunch. And sometimes we even say, what did the other customer say? No, this is not to say dishonest. It's really trying to prepare, right? I mean, just like before when I was go to customer, they want to give us scorecard, right? So I need to know, am I number one? I'm last one. Otherwise, how I'm going to prepare? So I would say, hey, please, can you go to figure out where are we? So I can prepare different. I don't want that. I'm prepared so good. I'm not, and then they say, no, you're last one, right? But the point is, this kind of thing can be prepared in advance, and just know what they want will be much easier. Have you seen a lot of time, you make a presentation, it's really not what the people want. And this is just taking about it. And they use all your network to find this out. Very good question. Okay, so let's finish this one. Okay, let's finish the last one, and then we talk about teamwork on that. So again, we want to prepare for like 3 minutes, right? So it could be very short, just like you lead a team. So I give you an example. We use in CK when I try to motivate a team, and this one is just really many years. Like one is quite unique. I ask people try to become 1%. Typical what I got is I have very high potential employee doing very good, and they will come to complain to me. Say, I'm doing so good. The other guy is not doing good. My salary is not higher than the other guy. We are same position as that. And certainly my answer is always, no, that's good. We will make sure we compensate you, and we will make sure we develop you. But then I will say, okay, I want you to become the 1%. And I hear a story, right? In the company, how you improve productivity. Used to be the GE, every year they have 10% people. You can go there. So I told the people, we can do that. I say, okay, you complain about the other guy does not perform. I can lay out 10%. I said, well, pretty soon you will be the 10% also. Okay, I said, this is one way to do it, right? All the other ways, you become 1% because you are so special. Unleash your potential, carry the other 99%. Because it's really the overall productivity. And the typical, 1 or 2% of people can produce 80% of themselves. Right? So we start to connect to that. And I told people, I will tell you, all of them know this. I run the Fremont division, right? My number one is make sure there's no layoff. But I'm extremely put the bar extremely high, especially on the people who has a lot of potential. They all know that. And I want to motivate them. I say, become the 1%. And by the way, this is not just for your money, for your position. Because become the 1%, carry the other 99%. The other 99% for us, actually, we have technician operators also. And all these people need a job. Actually, this is very, very strong motivation. So when I talk to them, finish. So the second one, story. This one is a real story also. It's Abibi. Right? Himself is also a very good story. He's from Ethiopia. He's a refugee. He come to USA as operator, 18 years old. Actually, he graduated from San Jose State. So one time he worked for me. Actually, he worked for the director report to me. But anyway, the story was, so he needed to qualify me in Milpitas for one of the new product. And he asked me, Steve, can you go to talk to the team? We're going to embark to qualify this product. And can you go to talk to the team to motivate the team? I said, okay. So that's what I said. I said, I'll be the team. I'm going to tell you, the project you're going to be involved going to affect 1,800 people's life. So they say, what's 1,800 people? I said, well, this side we have 600 people. Every people support 3 family members. So it's 1,800. If you guys did not qualify, we're going to shut down this side. If you qualify, 1,800 people will, because that they all have good job. As soon as I say this one, they say, still we got it. They went to the side. Actually took a picture where they bring the sleeping bag. So next time when I went there, they all sleep there. I said, Billy, what are you guys doing here? I said, no, Steve, we want to, man, what's more important to affect 1,800 people's life, right? And he said, we want to make it successful. And that's why he told me, he said, no, Steve, we want to do it. We want to do it because for me and my team, I just suddenly realized, we 10 people can make such a big difference. Right? So that's the other one. The Fremont, the site I run is probably about 450 people. And so that's the other one I try to motivate our team. Right? And by the way, it's a real story. When we have this new building, you see we have this new building in the Fremont. So I started involved with the city of Fremont. They was very, very appreciate and like the Fremont facility, CK facility. Because what they found was interesting. In the 450 people, we have about like 200 to 300, we call it high pay salary. Usually these people is PhD, master, bachelor degree. We have maybe the other 200, we call the middle salary. It's a technician operator because we have Pioneer 9A in Fremont. The reason they want to use the Seagate as a model, because in the Silicon Valley, now the big problem is, because every Google, Facebook is all high salary. So people, if they make like a middle salary, which is like 80K, all this, they cannot survive here. And then what happened is, the issue is, while we drive out all these people, they gotta go live in the Stockton, gotta go live in Pittsburgh and all these kind of things. It's not good for healthy society. And so that's the reason they look at the CK and say, God, this is good because you have middle salary, you have so-called the high salary. Right? So this is what I talk to people, especially in this so-called high salary. Say, you know what? What do you do in the Fremont? It's not only the job you do. In fact, you create a job, you create stability in all the community. Because high salary, because you're training, because you become PhD, become master, become bachelor degree, and that's the reason we can employ the other half of people who earn the so-called middle salary. Without this high salary, there's no middle salary. So again, this kind of communication, somehow you inject the different meaning of the work. But in the reality, it's really true. To be honest, without the people in the Fremont, they are willing to do this. The people actually, we have a lot of middle salary. I tell you, background. Most of them are immigrant, right? China, a lot of from India, right? Filipino, Hispanic. Most of them did not have a degree. We have, the story is I had the India like Gomi, three kids already, right? But because the way our work, we really provide them, change their life. So again, it's this type of communication, right? So I wanted you to certainly, your situation is a little different. The one I share with you is through many years I started to develop that. But just give you some example. When you run this one, how you get the opportunity to formulate your own, and then certain people say, Simon, I'd like to follow you. Good, let's do it. Let's do that. It's not only project. It's really making some difference for this community, for company, and for people in our team. And I think if you really take a little bit thinking through this one, you will find out everything you do actually has some special meaning here. Okay. So let's prepare this. So if we can go to take this one next week, we'll ask you to make a presentation on that. You can take a video on that. Right? So that's one homework. The other one I wanted to share with you, ask you to do is, remember I'm talking about 4E and 1P, and it's up to you. Okay, I'm going to share with you how I train it. Okay, it's really changing the way daily what you do, but everybody are different. So I exercise every day. I come, I sleep about 10 o'clock, and everybody know when I sleep, all my cell phone all turn off. Nobody can contact me. Okay, and I wake up about 5 o'clock, and I exercise. Then I finish, I shower, then I went to company and work. So I exercise every day, and in the morning, if I will find about 10 to 15 minutes, and I will try to relax, meditate a little bit, just learn how to relax, especially if you're under lots of pressure. I will do that. During the lunch time, I will read book. Usually I don't go lunch. Okay, I will read book. I read different kind of book. It's just mentally try to learn that. And again, try to relax and then maybe sleep a little bit. But we're all in office. And after run, I will do the other maybe 10, 15 minutes. So I will relax it there and just think that, some good thing and just make sure a little bit like a meditation. Okay, so that's what I do. So I want to make sure physically is very, every day you can recharge yourself, and then mentally also recharge it. And then spiritually, what I try to do is I try to become volunteer from time to time. In CK we have some program. We do build bike, maybe we do house painting, and then sometimes you have religion belief. Okay, actually I start to go back to become Christian again. All this one help me to spiritually continue to become strong. Will help you. So I usually call triangle, and I've been doing this one for the last probably 20 years. Before that, I mentioned to you, I don't even eat breakfast because when I was in Taiwan, when I wake up, it's like 1 o'clock after one. But then after this one, you can continue to maintain, remember 4E and 1P, because energy, passion, all this one is, because, our job, our life sometimes is very stressful, and we got to chance to, even the exercise is not to say you need to run. Actually, right now my knee is not even can run so much, but it's got a chance to exercise and then really relax yourself, right, and recharge yourself. So anyway, I would suggest you to do this because you need to understand the one soft skill development. Your skill set is continual, and try to figure out what's the best way for you to do it. Look at your schedule. Certainly, I'm always. You can contact me if there are any question we can work on. Yeah. Yes.
So for this homework, this 3-minute communication talk, how would you want us to? Do you think, how do you project the scenario to be like? How do
you project yourself. I will ask you to use your real case in the company, and then gradually build on this one. Because I really want that you get everybody practice, continue to build. Today I give you a lot of CK example. I built many years. In the beginning, it's going to be a little difficult, right? So use your own example and think about it. You must be some project or whatever you do, and just.
So this talk is to pretend we're talking to the team.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah.
Like lead a team review meeting or
Sure.
something like
Yeah.
that.
Right. Or you kick off one project, or you go to do one project, or you already managing the group. You talk to your team and. Anything else? It's okay today? Oh, I need to modify. No? Okay.
I like your that energy, train yourself every day.
Yeah.
Because when I was born, I was very weak.
Yeah.
So very, very weak. Seriously, I bought like no bigger than a shoe.
Really?
My parents were keeping me under control.
Yeah.
Don't go outside. You're beat by bigger guys.
Yeah.
So when in high school, I bumped into a good friend. He said, you know, Yixing, if you're afraid of beaten by other guys, you train yourself.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. So that's why I go running every day in high school and
Yeah.
do pull-up every day. So initially, I cannot do a single pull-up. So after training 1 year later, I can do 30 pull-ups.
Wow.
Even today, like maybe 5 years later, kind of things, I still can keep it. Do nothing if I do train or pull-up every. 5 years later, I still can do 7 times.
Yeah.
Pretty good, I feel.
No, I know. Let me just share a story with you. When you start to change the way how you do it, and it will become part of how you develop your soft skill. I ran 2 marathons, right? And the story was like that. I played rugby, but when I come to USA, I did not think I can run marathon until I find out my boss was running marathon, and he was American. He was Barry. I look at it, he said, "Gosh, Bill is running a marathon. Man, I'm rugby guy." So the second day I was going to run marathon, right? Because it just, I said, oh, man, he can do it. I can do it, right? One thing, suddenly I figure out I can do everything, right? So the second thing was interesting is when I ran a post marathon, I thought I was very well trained. It was Silicon Valley Marathon. It was Sunday, and because I was well trained, but I did not know how to pace that. But the story was after about the 12 miles, my leg is all cramped, and I cannot move. It's very interesting when you face that. Do you know what's the first thing go to your mind? I try to find the train, light rail. So I think I should jump the light rail and tell my guys, oh, I did not go to run because I almost left. So nobody know that, right? Well, it's Sunday, there's no train. And I started saying, oh, shoot. Okay, I gotta fix it. I promise because I cannot run, right? So, because the fourth thing I would think about is just avoid, right? Then I stay there. And then people pass me by and ask me why. They say, no, just drink some Gatorade and walk a little bit. So I finish. So what I learned on this marathon was, when you face difficulty, do not avoid it. It's always going to be a solution, right? So have you seen every activity you do, you learn that. Then I decided to run the second marathon because I tried to break the 4 hours, and because the first one I was 4 hours 30 minutes. So second marathon, it was even interesting. So I was trained, run. And then in the half marathon, about 30 miles, I was running with 4 high school girls. I was very unhappy. I'm man, and I'm lucky depressed. I run with 4 ladies, high school. But so I have a lot of ego, right? And I feel very bad about that. Gosh, man, the more I run, actually they are faster than that. And then I started realizing, no, Steve, just your goal is to try to run better than last time. You are not trying to compete with that. That's when I started changing this. That's okay. I will run my pace. So I finished actually a very good time, about 4 hours 9 minutes. Turn out these 4 girls, they are all high school track team, right? But the point, what I learned the second one is, do not compete with other people. Actually, you should compete with yourself, but every time get better. So the point, go back to your point is, let's do that. Let's find something out, because I think in this part you will learn something, and you will learn something useful for whole your life. And you will actually you will be surprised how good you are, right? Because you don't think, I never think about I will run marathon, but actually you can do it. But again, try to find something you like to do, and through the process, you're gonna have some learning. It's very interesting. It will change your life. So right now, when my team, they know my story. When we face very difficult, I say, guys, we will face it. We will find a solution. Because from the first marathon I learned this, no, you will find a solution. As long as don't just that's okay. It's very late already. Thank you so much. And next week will be hopefully everybody can find parking lot easy, and I'm really looking forward to your presentation. Yeah. will make sure. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.